What exactly is Iran's aim here, and is this the end of the escalation?
I think that's what they're saying. Their aim seems to be very much that there was a lot of rhetoric after the killing of Soleimani in which they said, okay, we are going to react. They've also been keen to point out that Trump was very open about the killing of Soleimani being an act that the U.S. formally undertook, so it wasn't sort of some covert operation. So I think this is kind of the Iranians' way of saying, okay, you did this overtly, we're going to overtly now have a response, we're going to attack these U.S. bases. But now we've done that, this is our official response, we've informed the United Nations of this, and they've actually come out, I mean, the foreign minister has basically said, you know, we're done. But of course, that doesn't mean that they might not then take further action through their proxies.
Jodi, what kind of reaction to this can we expect from the U.S.?
Well, we will hear from President Trump. We're being told we're going to hear from President Trump in the U.S. morning. There was just that tweet that said all is well. So far, so good. So it seems to be the U.S. response at this point that if this is all there is, this was anticipated. The real question is, was there any U.S. loss of life and any major damage to those U.S. Iraqi facilities there? If that had happened, we probably would be seeing another response from the U.S. President Trump had threatened that. He said if Iran did anything, that there would be a response. But it is anticipated that if this is all there is, and there was not U.S. loss of life, that things may now go back to the heated, but perhaps not as heated as escalating situation that we have seen since the death of the General Soleimani. So we still haven't really heard from the president much. We're anticipating that. But at this point, if this is that proportionate response, we don't expect things to escalate that much more in coming days.
Yes, I suppose the big question whether the U.S. or whether Iran perceives the U.S. to react or overreact to this. Riad, what about the 13 types of retaliation that Iran talked about yesterday?
Yes, so I mean, that was quite an interesting statement from the Iranians. They said 13 scenarios, and that the least of them is going to be extremely painful for the Americans. I'm not, it's not really clear whether the Iranians were saying that we're going to do 13 things to the Americans. I think the idea that they were trying to get out that they have various options on the table and all these options are painful. So right here, what we're seeing today is kind of Iran's official response. They're using legalistic terminology. They sent a letter to the UN saying that they're going to do this. And right now, for them, like as a formal response, they seem to be saying this is it. And as Jodi said, quite rightly, the U.S. with President Trump with his tweet seem to be indicating similarly that they don't seem to have an interest in escalating this further. Does that mean it's over, that the Iranians are not going to do anything else? No, as I said, but now any other action, if at all, will come through indirect means.